Welcome to this explainer. If you're over 50 and taking that incredibly exciting leap to move to Vietnam, well, congratulations. You're embarking on a truly wonderful new chapter. But, as we all realize pretty quickly, just relocating to a new country, that's really only the very first step. The real joy, the stuff that makes your daily life actually rewarding, comes from building friendships and becoming a genuine part of your local community. Adjusting absolutely takes time, but today we're going to dive into the source material to see exactly how you can transform your move into a deeply connected, community-rich experience. It's a huge question, right? I mean, you've unpacked all the boxes, you've figured out where your new neighborhood is, but how do you truly belong? Because while moving is a monumental step, true integration requires active participation. The material we're looking at highlights that it takes an understanding of local culture, a willingness to step out of your comfort zone, and recognizing that even the smallest connections with neighbors, shop owners, and local residents, those are the real building blocks of feeling at home. Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. First, the foundation, laws and customs. 2, everyday life and security. 3, building bonds through volunteering. 4, embracing festivals and culture. And 5, your next steps forward. Part 1, the foundation, laws and customs. So, according to Vietnam's law on entry, exit, transit, and residence of foreigners, specifically law number 47/2014/QH13, foreigners actually have a stated obligation to respect local traditions and comply with the law. But rather than looking at this as just some strict legal mandate, the source material highlights it as the ultimate gesture of respect to your new neighbors. It literally sets the tone for every single interaction you're going to have. Because it goes way beyond just the paperwork, doesn't it? The source notes that simple gestures like greeting people politely, showing respect to older adults, and taking a genuine interest in local customs play a massive role in community life. These small, everyday moments are deeply, deeply appreciated by locals. Honestly, they are exactly how the strongest bridges are built. Moving on to Part 2, everyday life and security. Now, what's really interesting when you look at major cities like Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, and Da Nang is that an essential part of feeling settled is just establishing your everyday routines. Having a comfortable baseline and managing your living costs, that gives you the freedom, both financially and mentally, to go out, visit local spaces, and participate in social activities without that constant background stress. And just like financial stability gives you freedom, knowing your health and security needs are covered provides the ultimate peace of mind. Getting your comprehensive insurance sorted and finding reliable, world-class local hospitals are crucial steps. When you feel physically and medically secure in your environment, you just naturally become more open, more outgoing, and way more ready to connect with the community around you. With all your security handled, you kind of face a choice between passive living and active integration. Passive living means staying entirely tucked away in expat bubbles and doing all your shopping online. But active integration? Well, according to the source, that means getting out and spending time in Vietnam's famous neighborhood cafes, local markets, parks, and walking areas, where people naturally gather all day long. Stepping out into those everyday spaces makes meeting people relaxed, natural, and incredibly rewarding. Which brings us to Part 3, building bonds through volunteering. The material lays out a super simple path forward for active participation here. Find a trusted local organization, join a specific initiative or charity drive, and this is the absolute most important part, show up consistently. Community grows through regular shared experiences. When people see you coming back week after week, that trust forms, and casual acquaintances naturally turn into true friends. And there are just so many active opportunities where you can give back and connect. The text highlights participating in volunteer activities, joining language exchanges, finding hobby groups and sports clubs, or working with local organizations like the Vietnam Red Cross. Finding a group that actually aligns with your own interests is an amazing way to immerse yourself. And this quote brilliantly illustrates the power of shared goals. Working alongside others, whether you're helping out at a local charity meal or joining a neighborhood activity, is really about connecting kind hearts and building a united community. When you stand shoulder to shoulder with someone for a good cause, language barriers completely melt away and profound emotional bonds take root. All right, Part 4, embracing festivals and culture. You literally cannot talk about Vietnamese community without talking about Tet, the Lunar New Year. The source emphasizes that community events and festivals like Tet are deeply, deeply rooted in tradition, family reunion, and, of course, incredible local food. If you ever receive an invitation from a local friend or neighbor to visit their home during Tet, absolutely accept it. It is a huge honor, and for sure, it's the best way to truly experience that famous warmth of Vietnamese hospitality. But it's not just Tet. The calendar is absolutely packed with events that bring families and neighborhoods together. While there are massive international festivals throughout the year, the source specifically points to cultural celebrations like the Mid-Autumn Festival, the stunning Delat Flower Festival, and tons of local food events. Even if you're just attending these occasions as a visitor, the shared excitement opens doors for wonderful, spontaneous conversations with the people right there next to you. And finally, part 5, your next steps forward. Let's take a second to remember the core definition of community. It's a feeling of fellowship with others, resulting from sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. The source reminds us that this does not happen overnight. It takes patience. It requires honoring those local laws and customs we talked about earlier, and above all, it requires keeping an open mind to new experiences. By staying open and actively participating in local activities, you absolutely will develop those meaningful friendships that make a house a home. Because community grows through shared experiences. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Whether it's ordering a coffee in Vietnamese at your neighborhood cafe, attending a local cultural event, or joining a hobby group this weekend, what is your first experience going to be? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I wish you the absolute best on your beautiful journey in Vietnam.